Hey team, how are we going? It is Kaz here. Now, I'm always early because of the military. We always require you to be early. If you're 1 minute early, in many ways is considered borderline late. And tonight we're going to be talking about the tips of going into boot camp because we've got so many that are going in there tomorrow from the channel. Their rooms, they're currently in Sydney. They've done oath of affirmation, put their hands up and said, I will not quit. I give my pledge. I give my, what did we say? I'm giving my all to the Commonwealth, to Australia, and I'm not going to quit. That's what they're saying. And that's what their oath of affirmation is. That's what it's all about. So this is for them tonight. They're currently sitting in hotel rooms in Sydney at the moment, about to have their last meals are going to land on basically the porcelain of a Kapuka, home of the Australian soldier, shithouse in the next couple of days. Now, let's just move this up here. Where are we? I'm just looking at in the trenches with Kaz here. National service should be brought into Australia to integrate youth and legal immigrants into our society. I think that's a beautiful idea. What better way to get people their Australian pride, which we're going to see this weekend. Are you going to the march? Let us know. Team, we're just waiting for the viewers to come in, make sure that our sound is working fine, and make sure you guys are happy. I'm saying yes. Wait a sec. What have I done here? I've got this in a way that I can't see what's going on. So to all of those that are in the rooms, the Holiday Inn, we know who you are. Can't mention your names on here. Dentist, I don't understand. This should be a moment all of the country is proud. But we've got to pretend like there's a threat there that there's not, while the ADF puts anyone's name up wherever they want and there seems to be no repercussions, Again, I don't like to talk about myself as someone that knows the font of everything, but, kind of a big deal here. Okay, that's not the cup I'm using. That's for you, Mr. Buckaroony, the servant of the nation. What have we got? We've got Sam C saying g'day. We've got Foxy Fox. She can do the chin-ups. And she's one of our good friends of the channel. We've got Callie, one of the members, which is the reason why he's in green. G'day, Cal. G'day, Kaz, and good luck to everyone starting Kapuka tomorrow. Antonio, mate, we need to have another talk soon. G'day, Tony. How you going, mate? Buckaroony, I hate to say this, Kaz, but after seeing all these Palestinian flags in the country, if I had my time again, I would not join up. Of course you would. Of course you would. You don't have to be a friend of the government, okay? And the next question probably should be, and I think I've got the question up there, should we be now steering more towards our strength coalition partner, the USA, than that of the UK? You can't say that if you're currently serving at the moment because that would be considered insubordination because our figuratory commander-in-chief is the actual king himself. Having said that, the UK has never come to our assistance. They have sent us out here as a social experiment that happened to work, which has taken the excuses away from all of the civilisations that have achieved nothing that are thousands of years old, that Australians did it from convicts. And look what we've created, the land of the free, girt by sea. I never regret my service. I love it, every bit of it, and I wish I could be back in there now. Okay, the hard thing for me would be I want to go and do this march this weekend. But I think that they're trying to build this up as though if you have nationalism, if you love your country, like you have some sort of problem that needs to be looked into, a threat to the nation. In actual fact, they're normally the people who are most patriotic, turn the other cheek, Christian values, right? No one really complained when the other flags went up and they marched on the bridge. How come those that are trying to say, let's just fly the Australian flag, how come we can't march on the Harbour Bridge? Because I tell you now, it wasn't built by Muslims. The Harbour Bridge was built by fair income, hard working Aussies that weren't scared of heights like Paul Hogan. Right? So I'm tossing up whether to go this weekend. If I go there, it's a patriot because I love Australia. It's not as a countermeasure to anything else other than to say that Australia is going backwards. And I think that I should be able to have a flag. If it was up to me, I'd be marching down where the march in Sydney is with my medals on, to show that veterans love this country, have died for this country. The Anzacs and soldiers in the future will continue to die for this country. But I think maybe it's time we start leaning towards where the strength is, where nationalism is, where I believe a country that's getting themselves, back on their feet, and that's the USA. That's just my thoughts. Doesn't have to be yours. Sip of the coffee. I hope you're all well, but that's not what it's about tonight. Tonight is all about some young, proud sons, maybe some daughters, don't know, and some tips for going to Kapooka. Now, Lanky Warrior, g'day, mate. Wanderer, we need to have another talk too. Salutations and Kaz and everyone. RL, g'day, mate. Hey, Kaz, man, good to see you still giving everyone a hard time. Got to, mate. Got to. Razor. We need to have a conversation too, Senior Razor. AU 712, Aussie 712. I can't say that national service should be mandated for military, but some sort of service for the benefit of the country, 100%, but totally agree military service is great for our youth. It's also fantastic for an immigrant. Imagine coming from another country, instead of getting sucked over into an enclave of the people from the nation you just came from, and don't worry, expats are exactly the same. They tend to hang out together when they go overseas. Bring them to Australia, make their kids serve so that we don't become a nation of people that have immigrants that come here until the going gets tough, then they migrate to the next place with the best unemployment benefits. It should be come here, put your roots down, love the country, have at least your youth start serving. They get a cricket bat or a football, and are inducted into mateship, friendship, brotherhood with Aussies, and then they get their own nickname and they become Dinky Die Aussies in the shortest amount of time because of national service. Also, all you've got to do is walk through the streets during the day to know that we have lost our youth. We've lost our youth. There seems to be like a, what do I call it? There seems to be a divide with this generation. They're either awesome or a fuck up and nothing in between. Righto? I've never seen so many foot draggers in my life, but at the same time, I've also seen so many that have got things so squared away, completely red-pilled, understand finances, understand where they are, have already said no to vice, drinking, drugs, etc., and they're 19 years old. It's fantastic. If you can get a group of those guys in one area, awesome. But we need to breed those good people. It's because there is too much of a single mother, what would you say? There's too much of a single mother community footprint in Australia, the feminisation of Australia. So what we're seeing is men without testosterone, boys that think they're men because of age, but not because of deed. This would be a way to pick them up, give them some male mentors. They don't have them at school. A lot of them don't have them at home. And then allow them to be surrounded by guys that also creates an off-ramp career for military to go and become instructors in those areas. Right? They can give a service. They can be part of SES. They can be part of a fire brigade. They can be part of some sort of auxiliary ambulance force. They can be helping in the emergency sections at hospitals. They can be assisting with the police. They can be assisting with the military, Army, Airforce, Navy, all of those things for about 18 months. That gives them an identity. So every single person within 10 years that is under the age of 25 can go up to anyone that is under 25 and say, hey, who do you serve with? Awesome. Do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? Everyone's got a reason to say hello to each other. Everyone has a social responsibility to their nation. Everyone has a reason to not be ashamed of their flag, which I've never seen it in my life. There has never been less Australian flags anywhere on display. It's crazy because we are a wonderful country. Don't let anyone tell you we're not. Our leadership is the worst it's ever been at the moment, the worst. But, yeah, this country's worth fighting for. And Australians, we don't migrate to another country and the going gets tough. We need to stick and hold our ground. And that's what this march is about, I believe. And if we don't do it now, if you don't start to back up, it's going to be our own fault in the long run. But I can't trust that there's not going to be some pushback from other groups that try to make the people that march on Saturday across the nation look like they've got an ulterior motive to what they have. Anyway, enough of that today. Mr. Buccarini, I feel it was all for nothing, Kaz. I'm disgusted the way we have gone in the past 5 years. Yeah, mate, but you served for 50-something years. Don't let the actions of those that wish our country harm, don't worry about that, bucko. Mate, you've got a lot to be proud of about you, your father, etc. The Tassie Devil says, packet of Winfield, 20 cent a pack. Take a look at the length of them. Mate, there's no reason for anyone to ever smoke these days. It is the most noxious fucking habit you could have. I'm going to Kapuka on the 23rd of September. PJ, we've got a bunch of people going in there. Are you? Even if it's just working in a remote community for a year, creating a sense of national identity is what will bring Australians back together. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that one too. V.O. Webby. Haven't heard that name yet. Have you changed your name or have you just come in? Tokyo Racing, Tokyo Drift. Madison Taylor. Now, what a lovely name that is. Can we get some thumbs up for Madison, one of the newest subscribers to the channel? All you got to do, team, is hit that subscribe button and you'll show up on the screen there and be part of the, what would you say? Freedom of speech column over there on the right. Commodity. Sam says, Kaz, I'm 17 years old, who wants to go infantry, and I've finished my U session. I'm just wondering how the battalion selection process works. Mate, g'day Archie Kerr. For those that don't know, Archie is an Olympic boxer. Was an Olympic boxer down below there. Fantastic young man. Great to communicate with him. Can we get some thumbs up for that young guy there as well? Archie Kerr. Fantastic guy. Stepdad, 3RR. Jen G from up north. Jen. 17. So infantry battalions. Mate, you'll decide based on the section commanders you have at the School of Infantry when you get there, whose style you like, which one of them can sell it to you the most. As long as you go to Townsville, I reckon you can't go wrong. Northern Territory, when you get a little bit older maybe, and you're trying to get rid of the first wife, then go up there and do a bit of fishing and stuff. But, Brizzy is a little bit, unless you've got family there, and even then, unless you're supporting someone that's in Brisbane, I'd say go to Townsville every time. The Apostle, I passed my medical PFA and defence interview. I'm going through security clearance, but I live in a different country for years. What job should I get while I wait? I'd do Uber, mate. Depending on what your car is. If it's less than 5 years old, I'd just do Uber. Yep. I'm thinking about doing it now. Thinking about doing it now. Matty H. I got 2 little Aussie flags at my front door. Weirdly enough, when I put them in, I felt like I was sort of being provocative. Not at all, mate. Keep it up. Don't apologise. You know who else just did? Donald Trump just paid out of his own money to get American flags put in front of the White House. They weren't there. And one at the back. Paid with his own money. Kaz, do people with substance abuse issues get looked down upon if they are clean and sober and work in program of recovery? If you say that, you'll either be told no, never apply, ever, or come back in 1 year when you have proof that you've been sober. The Army's not like NRL and NFL, AFL. We have an absolute zero policy on drugs, even if you've had them in the past. So this is why we say to people as a confession session, do not be telling people this is not the time to be honest and say, hey, I never got caught for anything. I've got no convictions for anything, but when I was younger, I did like this. Don't say that or you won't have a career in the military. Just a word of warning there. But good luck with your sobriety, mate. Good luck with it. And this might be what you need to get yourself back online, okay? And that's all about the people you hang around, isn't it? Who we flock together with. Rafi. Hey, Kaz, watched your videos a year and a bit ago before joining, and now and you helped me heaps. Cheers for that, Kaz. It's an absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. We've got to look after people, and people say don't join the military. I'd say, what do you want me to do instead? OnlyFans? We've got some tips up here that we're going to do in a second. G'day, Kaz. G'day, Kaz. Uber would be good for you, mate. Might snag a lady. Red, I might want to. That's the one time in my life I'm Islamic, mate. I want 4 of them. What are you all drinking at the moment, team? Let's have a look at something other than this young lady here who looks amazingly a little bit like Meghan Markle, to tell you the truth. I asked ChatGPT before some questions and some tips. Let's just see if I agree with them. What they've said are tips for people going through Kapooka, righto? And this is aimed at the people that are about to go in tomorrow, the people that are getting ready to go in there. Sorry, I've been talking for nearly 15 minutes without actually addressing what the video is meant to be about. So let's have a look at this for a second. Wait. So let's have a look at this. There we are. Ready, Miss Jane? There we are. Boom. Wait 2 seconds. So I'm just wondering if I can see you. I don't know what I just did then. Wait a sec. Sorry, guys. As you know, I'm no IT genius here. Righto. What it says here is the first thing is poor physical preparation. Yep, I totally agree with that. Poor physical preparation would mean you basically went there to meet the bare minimum of the PFA standard. The PFA standard is less than the standard of what it is to be basically a human walking around healthy, I believe. You need to be heading towards BFA standard as a minimum, and that is the bare minimum of actually being able to work within the Australian military. Arriving unfit makes everything hard. Running, rucking, that means pack marching, push-ups, obstacle courses, etc. leads to injury, exhaustion, falling behind. I'd also say to social ostracisation, if people, if you're the slowest and you keep getting people in trouble, you know, your fitness is going to get you looking at not yet competent, but also get others put in the shit as well. It's also going to affect your morale. It's going to be a dampener, and it's all your fault. Not yet competent. One of the biggest ones there seems to be a phobia these days towards swimming, even though swimming is meant to be Australia's most favourite pastime, because schools, again, without enough male presence there, allow people to not do swimming because it's body shaming or whatever. They don't want to get dressed. They don't look good. They've been eating too many nuggets in the afternoon after school, drinking too much Kentucky gravy. I don't know. That swimming is a skill set that seems to be disappearing. People seem to be able to float but not swim. And swimming is very important in the military because you need it as an alternate to hard PT, as a impact-free session. It's also required for pretty much all soldiers when you're going to be dealing with the helicopter underwater escape training, etc. So swimming is a very important one. Not listening to instructors, yep. Drill sergeants give clear, direct orders, yep. Missing small details like how to clean a weapon, okay. Dragging shit out, etc. Yeah, I get all that. No sense of urgency, that's a big one. So having too many civilian traits as opposed to taking on the military traits. The next one is a lack of discipline with time. Time is the massive thing within the Australian Army. You know, that's why so many soldiers, ex-soldiers, Buckaroony, Kaz, etc., have OCD timings. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not there half an hour early, I feel like you're late. Not working as a team, don't make yourself the hero of the story. You know, allow yourself to be part of the team. It doesn't matter if you're tougher. Archie Kerr, if he gets in, Olympic boxer, could turn your nose into a piece of cauliflower in seconds. You know, but he's not going to do that. He's going to be a good team member, you know, and he's going to help you out. He's going to accept you, the fact that you might not get along. You know, you might not get invited to his party after you get out of there. But while you're in there, you're his teammate, you come first. And that includes you have to look after your section, even though your best friends might be in 2 section, 3 section or 4 section. I'll talk about Kapuka section allocations in a moment. Poor stress management. If you go in there feeling like you're the victim, if you don't have a dark sense of humour and are unable to take that on, if you're triggered by reality. You know, the army is not your place, not now, not ever, don't apply. Yelling, chaos and pressure are constant. Don't get fucking married either. Losing your cool, snapping at others or shutting down shows weakness. Yep. Don't show weakness. You know, no one cares if you're sore. They care if you're injured. Neglecting hygiene and foot care, blisters, yeah, okay. Not drying feet, you're going to get plenty of that. You'll be fine there. All right. What else do we have? Failing to study and learn. Righto. If you become untrainable, right, that means that you're not fulfilling the roles in the time that you were given in formal instruction. You know, you shouldn't have a problem with that. You've already been vetted for aptitude, problem solving, psychological fitness, etc. You should have no dramas there. Kapuka is not designed to fail, team. This is just from what ChatGPT brought up. I'll go into what I think in a moment. Failing to study and learn, okay. Quitting mentally, that's a massive one. If you quit mentally, that is the reason why a lot of the time we don't give you access time on mobile phones, because that makes you bring in civilian problems back into the military, and that will affect you. That can make you think, I need to go home, I want to go home. Is she cheating on me? Are the kids playing up on mum? Whatever. You know, maybe this is not what I wanted. It is what you want. Just buckle down, get the job done. Not maintaining gear and weapons, that's not going to happen at Kapuka. Overconfidence or cockiness always normally happens with people that are takers, not normally givers. Givers are there for the village. Takers are what they can take from the village. If you go in there with ego and you think you're too good for the team, it's not going to go well for you at all. That can also happen if you've got combat soldier corps that are going in that are getting mixed with a lot of non-combat corps. That can happen too. One day you're going to find something you have trouble with, and believe me, the person that helps you normally is not the person you expect. You know, normally not the person you expect. Let's go back to this and answer your questions now. Let's get out of there and let's go to, thank you for that. What's it called? ChatGPT. Boom. Let's change this up. We'll be talking about that in a moment, breaking the cycle. Right, we'll go back to her. She looks better than me. Okay. Okay, so watch your videos. Yeah, that's what we're up to. So you get to pick your battalion. It'll be based, Sammy, it'll be based on your performance, mate. You won't get to choose anything if you're at the bottom of the platoon. Right? It's all based on merit. You know, remember your section commanders, you know, at the actual School of Infantry, which we'll talk about in a moment because you won't be going there this year. We'll talk about that in a moment too. They're not going to push you towards the battalion they come from if they think you're a piece of shit. You know, I want to go to Brisbane, I want to go to 6 RR, then I want to go to 2 and I want to go to 1 RR. Okay, mate, you came last in the platoon, you're going to Darwin. Enjoy yourself. Phil. G'day, Phil. There you go, mate. AH, thank you, Kaz. Redman. G'day, Kaz. Uber would be good for you. Yeah, honky donkey. Hey, Kaz, what do you reckon about going infantry versus engineers? Well, one's a combat corps and one supports combat corps. Engineers, you get the most tickets, you get awesome mateship, you know, awesome activities there in immersion. They're very, very hard-working lads. Very, very hard-working. I would say, I don't know you. If I knew you, I'd be able to make a better decision. Right? Yeah, because it's a hard pick. It is a hard pick. Tassie Devil. Pepsi. No, Coke. My eyes, team, have gone to shit. Massive, hey, Kaz. Tried to enter the ADF in 2020, but got disqualified because I took meds in high school for depression. Yep. Been 5 years since then. Reckon it's worth reapplying? Absolutely. I'm 26 now. I'm basically ancient. No, you are fine. You know, if you've had more than a year off medication All you need to do is go to a medical practitioner if they request it and be able to say, hey, look, I haven't been on meds for 4.5 years now. You know, whatever the situation was, it doesn't affect me now, and I'd like to reapply, right? You'll have a psychological session and they'll determine yes or no, there's more work to be done, mate. I 100% recommend it. What I think you should do, massive, is get on the bat phone. The description is below, not in comments, in the remarks area. Go down there and get on the phone. Get on the phone. You and I can have one-on-one conversations and let's get you ready. Let's get a uniform on you, and 26 is fine. Turn your life around. Give yourself the light at the end of the tunnel. Theo Rondon. Hey, Kaz, hope you and the family are well. They're okay, mate. We've got some dramas at the moment that I can't really go into here. But it's what we do when our chips are down that determine who we are, isn't it? Our character. Dior dropped. I applied, got my U session tomorrow. Hopefully I get my preference role is medic. Okay, if you're going to go in there as a medic, mate, you need to understand what medic in the Australian Army is. It's not like the US Army corpsmen where you've got your medics just rocking out there with infantry, cavalry, etc. It doesn't work that way. So make sure that either one, jump on the bat phone, we can have conversations, you know, as early as tomorrow, or, you know, yeah, that's all I can say. Come and join the bat phone. You know, have a conversation with me and we can explain it all to you. Brady Carr, how's your family going, mate? In the trench. Bethany, that's a lovely name. Beth, how long is it until the next boot camp, and how many more steps is there once you've reached the career coach call? Mate, boot camp starts tomorrow. We've got guys in a hotel right now that have already done oath of affirmation that get on the bus tomorrow and then head down to Kapuka to do the steak they eat tonight is going in a toilet bowl in the next few days. That's a tough one. To anyone that has their autonomy taken away from them, especially men, it seems, we like to do a lot of time sitting and thinking and contemplating Rome on the shit house. Now, if you're a get up and shit in the morning, take your time, you can't do that. You can't go to the toilet whenever you want in the military. You've got to have discipline with everything. The expectation is you should have gone last night. You can't just get out of a 40-minute lesson because you need to do a turd. It doesn't work that way. Who else we got? Macca just subscribed. I wish this was Macca Coffee. Thank you for everything you do with the Golden Arches, Macca. If you like a morning shit, you're going to start doing it after 10 o'clock at night once the instructors have left the room. That's your time for contemplating Rome. Daniel Harris says, g'day, mate. Philly, 100%. Al, g'day, Kaz. G'day, Al. How you going, mate? If I call you Betty, will you call me Al? Dun, dun, da, dun. Boozer, g'day, Kaz. Still waiting for my infantry application to continue. Stuck waiting for recruitment to start back up for infantry. Still staying healthy. Get as fit as you possibly can, mate, and you'll be good. Tokyo Drift. Highly recommend jumping on the bat phone with Kaz. So worth it. Thanks, Tokyo. We need to have another chat anyway, man. Guys, we've got a problem with if you're on Patreon and you're there as a free member, I just need to I need to put a video out, but just so you understand. YouTube, Patreon allowed free memberships on Patreon. I never okayed that. So we've got 300 people on top of the paid members of Patreon that are on Patreon waiting for the bat phone number to come to them. No. There is no way I could service 500 people 1 hour a month talking to them or multiple hours a month. If you come onto Patreon, g'day, Wild Track. I actually like the XLTs. If you're going to jump on Patreon, go to the Black Legion. For the price of a coffee, jump on there, and for the length of a time it takes you to sip that coffee, you and I are talking shit, dark humour, everything you need answered from a 54-year-old expert in the field. Okay? You can't go wrong. But guys, sorry, I can't give my phone number out to people that are jumping on there that aren't willing to buy a cup of coffee. Okay, that's not much to ask for the time. So if you're a free member on Patreon, what I want you to do now is jump over, join the Black Legion, and you and I can speak tomorrow. Okay? I'm having a face-to-face, actually, with one of the guys that's going to be an officer next month. We're going to go and have a cup of coffee face-to-face. And he's a legend. He's a really, really good dude. We've also got a bloke from the French Foreign Legion. Great guy. You know, yeah. I won't say any more about that in case, you know, his French officers see what he's been saying. But he's a legend. He's in Paris. And, yeah. Drone Pilots Queensland, X3RR, Paramate. There you go, Old Faithful. What you're doing for these prospective young lids is fantastic. Mate, thank you very much, Drone Pilots Queensland. The reason why I do that is because I feel like there is no one else in their corner. You know, it doesn't, sure, there's podcasts, but there's no one, anyone that does what we do here. No one. So that's what we do. We do the live streams so that you can actually ask the questions, so you can get the answers, the context, without an AI voice. I appreciate you, 3R Old Faithful. Kapooka wouldn't have happened if you guys hadn't have been there. Yep. Save South Korea. Well done, lads. 24th of April is their battle honour. Massive. Cheers for that. I've been thinking about reapplying, but wasn't sure if it was worth it. That trouble becoming old, knockback. I'd want to get back in shape. That's all right. So many people join the military and it kickstarts their life. And I'm talking about Army Reserve as well. Honky donkey. Thanks, Kaz. Yeah, it's a tough one. I've heard that sappers can sometimes operate as infantry. No. When required, no. Depending on what type of squadron you're in. No, that's not their role, mate. That's not their role. Yeah. It takes 16 weeks of intense training to be infantry, and even then, that is to make it to the base level. You know? Gold track. Turning 40 this year. Well done, mate. Joining full-time infantry. It's a new start to life, and I'm happy to take up the call. Gold track. Turning 40 this year and joining full-time infantry. Gold track, I definitely recommend. Follow the links. Come and join the bat phone, because you're going to need some either some positive reinforcement. Remember, when you go in there, as we was talking before about, don't make it about yourself. If you're going at 40, you've got to be able to run in under 11, 18 and do everything the young fellas can. I'm sure you can, but don't also go in there with the wisdom always telling them I'm wrong. You know, you're going to have the leadership that comes with age. Make sure you use that sparingly so that you don't ostracise yourself from the crew. There's me sister, Lisa Clark. G'day, love. How you going? Love you, mate. And Trina too, my her twin, who we lost so many years ago. Family means everything to. Jonathan Smith, are knees getting blown out an inevitability, or is there something in particular? Look, I hate to tell you, John O. Smith, but knees go by people that do excessive squats, and that goes with age. Yeah, it's just an age thing, mate, to tell you the truth. You know, I've got no drama with my knees, and my legs are as skinny as Airforce Aggie's arms. You know, join the Infantry Reserve. Do you think my asthma will be a hiccup in my application process? It's very mild. I wouldn't mention you got asthma unless they know about it, mate. Otherwise, it could actually stop you from getting in, mad. You know, asthma used to always be an automatic no. But I'd say go in there, keep that one a secret to yourself, mate. But also don't open yourself up to a catastrophic asthma attack by lying about something that, you know, you probably haven't ever gone at the pace that you're going to be once you're in Army Reserve. Don't let that fool you. Just because it says Army Reserve doesn't mean it's not hard yakka. Hey, you, what do you think of with a plan of 4 years in infantry, then move into the ADF uni and get into engineering? Just thoughts. Mate, that's fine to do that. But I would say that once you actually get a taste of being in the military, whether you started in transport, whether you started in the infantry, that's where all your friends are going to be. That's where your life is. That's where your routine is. I'd say you're overthinking about it. Wait till you get there and then start to think about that situation. Jenko checking in. What have I missed, brother? Was just having dinner. Mate, say good day to Trent for me, you know, and your dad. You know, mucho respecto. I should be up in Newcastle soon. Looking forward to seeing you. Lisa, hey, Dean, love ya. See, there's proof that one girl loves me in this world. But having said that, it's me sister. Love you too. Hey, up, Kaz, just done my JOA and big help with deciding to apply. Lemon Lemming, good to have you here and good to see that you got in. His legs are truly skinny, yep, and yours aren't. So don't start that fight, Lisa. Starmo OG, Agi Special Forces. Special is in special. Yep. Nathan, I'm doing the security clearance application. I don't have lots of savings. Doing it tough, actually. Would this affect my application? Absolutely not. Nope. I think everyone's doing it hard these days, my man. Macca says, would you happen to know how often they open up the weapons technician role? Apparently not recruiting for that role at the moment. You mean like a weapons tech, i.e. in Ramey, etc., being a gun or an armourer? I've got no idea on that one, mate. No idea. Lisa says, no, I'm not. You said it first. I was just agreeing, concurring. Yep. Starmate, I heard Infantry got their tactics from Call of Duty. Is this true? Not all of them. Not all of them. Mate, the infantry tactics, initially, naturally you've got to have doctrine, so there's set battle drills, but they're pretty solid. Remember, we're not in a circle jerk here. The Australian Army does a lot of work with our coalition forces. They've done a lot of work, and it's worked on the battlefield. We don't have many losses, do we? And other countries around the world claim that we're pretty much the best, which is the reason why I say we're the best small army in the world. And I'm the best sergeant in the world, until I'm proven otherwise. Because I'm from the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment, and I thought that I was the best platoon sergeant there. Was I? Don't know. But if I was, and I was the best sergeant in the best battalion and the best army in the world, I must be the best. And because I'm retired, that means you can't prove me wrong. Hey, Kaz, can the military have access to medical records that could potentially class be unfit for duty? Okay, Skits, so what can happen is they're not necessarily going to go and look at any of your records, all right? But what happens is at the end of a medical, then you'll sign a document to say that everything that you've given is being it is a legal statement, and it can be come back on you if they find out later that what you've said is untrue. Massive. I had a friend recently finish IMTs for Airforce. He used to be a bit of a drop kick sometime, but it seems like he's already had a huge attitude adjustment. I love that, and that's what it's about, Massive. It's about starting the ignition to manhood and becoming a version of yourself that your family can be proud of. The alternative is you can be thinking about I should have for so long in your life, and then what do you do if you don't do it? Start a legacy team. And this is why we also talk about, where are we? This one. Bam. Breaking the cycle. Some of you guys have got the chance at your age now to be multi-millionaires by the time you're my age. You've got opportunities now that did not exist. The first thing you should be doing, I need to bring out a video tomorrow or the next day, is what you need to do to get yourself in a position to break the cycle of poverty, to bulletproof yourself against Albanese's future. Otherwise, you're going to get left alone. You're not going to have options. And, naturally, girls find guys with options more attractive. And, mental health is always better when you have problem, solution, dinero in the background. And the army is one of the best ways to get rich. And I can make a video on that. Nathan O'Neill, sounds like a surfboard. I greatly appreciate you, brother. I truly value wisdom and guidance. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I'm not right all the time, but there is an element of right in most things I say. Apostle, what would disqualify you in the security clearance? Right, it would be criminality, potentially integrity, previous drug use, criminal record, like I said, association with bikies or criminal elements. Those sort of things, mate. Having been overseas and some religions, I would say, would make you definitely get looked at more so than others. Affiliations having come from countries with broken governments, etc. STEM OG, I'm positive SAS got their skills from AGI reserves. Mate, are you a troll, my man? Why would you say that? I'm positive that SAS got their skills from AGI reserves. You know that's where they got them from. For those that I know out there in that wear the beret, don't come and kill me in my sleep tonight. There'll be a civil war in Australia, maybe, but they've already disarmed us and now they want to take the microphone off us as well as of the 10th of December, but that's another story. Hey, Kaz, reference national service, I'm against it, as I'm not sure the ADF has the capacity to take up the training burden, and I don't trust most of the kids in the younger generation to be warfighters. It's not to train them to be a warfighter, mate. That's not what it's about. It's like when you go to Israel, they're not warfighters. They carry the weapon systems, so they can protect themselves and their nation. But, there's 100 different roles they do. But the confidence they have, the ability to communicate with each other, it helps them with public speaking, gives them a sense of identity as well and belonging to their nation. I don't support national service in wartime. It's too late for that. It's too late, Sam. You're talking about conscription. National service, completely different. Otherwise, most of the lads I know couldn't care less, which is sad. They would care, but if they'd been in national service. Yep. It works in every country it's in, Tim. And you know what? Every country that's got national service, the crime goes all the way down. Sorry, Kaz, I didn't mean sappers would ever replace or be better than infantry. I just meant I heard that they can sometimes operate in combat situations. No. It's absolutely no offence, honky donkey. None. But no, they don't. They work in a combat role as far as they have actions they can do, but they don't go out, and carry out the role of seeking out, close the enemy, kill or catch him, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. Could they in emergency operations? Absolutely. Can they defend themselves? Absolutely. Would it be a mistake to fuck with them overseas? Absolutely. They're well trained and they're tough guys. Yeah. Macca, I was already fitter trade and joined without that role being open. Went to artillery and corps, transferred from there 35 years ago. Wow, that's some time, man. And guys, I'm not just speaking out my ass too with the last one. I've taken engineers for IMTs before, infantry minor tactics. Yeah. I won't say any more on that. Dante, hey Kaz, is First Commander Regiment still part-time unit? Yes, it is, mate. It's what he's talking about is First Commando Regiment is that an Army Reserve unit? Yes, it is. Predominantly taken up by police that are already normally your TRG guys, your group guys. Also, the cost would be huge. Yeah, I agree with that, Jay Hawko, but the problem is, what is the cost? We're already losing our youth. Yeah, we're losing our youth at the moment. Where I'm in Western Sydney, there's hundreds of these kids, scumbags everywhere, with their little Esche bags on, terrorising around the streets. Every Thursday, it looks like Portland, in the US. It's a mess. Dave Ball, hey Kaz, do you know anyone enlisting on the 15th of... No, I don't know anyone going the 15th, mate. Yeah, so am I, Starmo. Yeah, we know that the Aggies, train the SAS. I heard you, mate. User 66. Should have listened to my parents after first trip to Timor, Tour Hour 2001. The HSV1. I'm hearing you. User 66. I end up going after the wrong girl. Jaden, Autocore, donated $30. $31. Thank you very much. Hey, Cass, just want to thank you for encouraging me to join the Army. So all your videos in the past, best choice that I've done. Thank you for support. Is to help me rebuild myself to be a better person. So cheers. Jaden. How cool is that, team? Can we get some thank yous there to Jaden, not just for keeping the lights on with the channel, but it's one thing for me to tell you how awesome it is it's another thing when someone that's actually got in is letting you know that it has actually been the best choice they've made. What more do I need than someone to validate that from where they are now? That's amazing. Guys, we see people join the army and completely flip the script on how their life could have gone if they hadn't. Remember, the guys that I went to school with, some of them end up taking the life of one of the girls I went to school with. I was lucky I was at an Army Reserve camp at the time. My life could have been so much different. But I joined the military, and here I am. I wasn't at that fateful party where young Lee, from Stockton lost her life. Bless her soul. She did nothing to deserve that. She was the victim, and so were her parents after that. An absolute disgrace. They made a movie after it called Black Rock. Check it out. Prayers to her. PJ, can't wait to go to 23rd. Any tips of advice for Kapuka or Singo? Okay, let's get back to talking about Singo. Kapuka. So when you go to Kapuka, you're going to get on the bus like the guys are going to be tomorrow that are in the hotels right now. I can give you their room numbers. They both start with 2, and I won't tell you the others, but there's 2 in each room. They met each other for the first time yesterday. Hey, lucky Talisman Sabre, just subscribed. Good to have you here. And besides, this is for Jaden, the Nutsu cow.
Nutsu cow. Nutsu cow.
I accept. And I think we should also give him a Kraken. This, for those that don't know that are here for the first time, this is what it feels like when you go into Centrelink in South Australia and the single mums come after you. It's a Kraken! Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari. Terrifying, right? Okay, so when you go to Kapuka, you've got to remember that when you turn up, you're going to go there on a bus. You're going to turn up there in the afternoon. You're all going to look like you need a haircut, and the timing is going to be great for the guys that are going tomorrow, and I'll explain that, and then I'll go into the tips. The guys that are going tomorrow, the reason why it is so awesome is do your maths. It's 12 weeks, 11 to 12 weeks. We're about to hit September, October, November, December. 3 months, take those away, December. Not that finger. That means they don't have time to go into IETs, initial employment training, which is their infantry, which is their engineers at steel barracks, which is Pucker, which is Watsonia for signals, all those sort of things. They're going to go down there and basically straight away, they're going to get sent on leave because you can't have them going into course that early. They won't qualify for it. They might make them go there and do a BFA and then send them home. Might be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, could be longer. They're going to get sent, in their first ever career after doing 3 months, feeling like they're going 100 miles an hour, blue flame all the way, Kapuka. And then when they're finished, they go straight to the School of Infantry or their respective schools and get sent home. Because the posting and promotion cycles, they can't be on the barracks over Christmas, so they send them home as an administrational situation, trainee leave. That's incredible. And they've got full top tier medical coverage. It's going to be great. They're going to have they're going to look like cancer survivors, but they're going to be getting paid. Then they have a date to turn up, and you better be ready to go. You better be ready, or you won't go into session. So well done. So when you get to Kapuka, you're going to have about 50 people there. It should be 4 sections, righto? Tell me if I'm wrong for those guys that have just been going through there. 4 sections, and what happens is there'll be a section commander allocated to those, and there's probably a spare section commander as well. Take it as though you've got 12 people in each section, and that takes into account that there'll be people that quit, and there'll be people that are untrainable, and there'll be people that are injured, get back squatted, and they're gone. So 12 people in each one of those. So 4, 4, and 4. 3 bedrooms which 4 people in each one. Now, women will be in a different section. You know, when you go in there and you go into those sections, understand that you don't get to choose who that you bed with. You get told you are going into one section, you know, and the bed numbers are bam, 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 and they fill in. You're going to end up with someone that you've never met in your life that is going to be sleeping 3 feet from you in a bed with no doona, maximum itchiness of that blanket, and they're going to be facing you, you know, looking at you as you go to sleep. They might be snorers, they shouldn't be, you know, because snoring is also frowned upon in the army as well. And then what's going to happen is you're going to come out and they're going to teach you almost straight away what hallway drill is in the morning. They're going to allocate you a name for your platoon, which is going to be a number. Let's just say it's 11 platoon, which it was for me, 11 platoon Bravo company. And then what happens is when you get told hallway 11 in the morning, which is known as reveille, a word you're going to hate for the rest of your life. Everyone in the army hates the word reveille. Then what happens is you're normally going to have just a pair of boxer shorts on. And what's going to happen is you run out, no shirt on, with your bedding all thrown up in the air, over your shoulder, standing in the hallway, looking straight ahead, with your winter tan on, you know, beside someone who's looking back at you you've never seen, with chicken skin and a look on their face like, what the hell is going on here? Is this really what I signed up for? You know, and you can feel like you're in the shit from the moment you wake up. And then they're going to teach you from when they say, go. You need to be able to run from there straight to the shit house, go in there, brush your teeth. You need to shave. You need to get both beds made, and you also need to be dressed in the hallway, ready to go with all lockers secure in 15 minutes. Sounds impossible. You know, you're not going to meet it at the start, but that's fine. That's fine. And then from there, everything in pre-week, which means you have no tabs on, you know, will be followed by red week, you know, where you'll have, red tabs, where you'll have a red tab that indicates to everyone in Kapuka that basically that you know nothing, you're at the basic level to kick your ass if you're doing something wrong, but alternatively, also remember, this is their first trimester. Then you're going to, you'll unlock certain things like phone privileges, being able to go up to the boozer, but everything's a test. If they tell you to go up and have 2 drinks, it's a test. They want to see who won't take just 2 drinks, who will get pissed and end up vomiting, you know, who can't be trusted with fraternisation. It is against the law in the military for you to have any sort of affection towards someone else, you know, that's in uniform. Remember that. Quick way to get back squatted. Thanks, Jaden. Dante, hey, mate, another question. Is applying for 1 commando the same selection course as 2 commando? No, I don't believe it is. I actually don't know. It'll go through SOCOM, but Dante, that is a completely different package now. The SOCOM package, there's videos on that right now that you can look at, not from my channel, but have a look on those YouTube. 2 seconds, team, 2 seconds. Hey, hello. Hey, baby. I'm just online at the moment. Were you going to be awake? Oh, she's respecting my time. Thank you, young lady. She is my kryptonite, my beautiful little girl. Another question. Kaz, where are we? Unknown. Donated $5 through Super Chat. 31st of August, March for Australia. What's that? Every capital city, let's stand for our values and what made Australia a great country. Look, I'm thinking exactly the same as you, unknown. I just don't know what it would be like trying to get back home, because I believe that at least the march in Melbourne and Sydney will get attacked by special interest groups to make it look bad. You know, so be careful. And if you were a military member and you're a serving member, be very goddamn careful. Because I wouldn't be surprised if there's also facial recognition cameras that are going to identify serving members that are in that crowd, and that could come back as disciplinary action against you. Even if you not represent yourself as a military member. Be careful, team. Be careful. For some reason, our country, our leadership, what they like to call themselves, is backing the wrong horse in this play. They're all for an unrecognised state, but not for their own people that love their own country. MAGA, make Australia great again. That's what I reckon. Let us know what you think. Make Australia great again. More flags, one flagpole. Respect, stop the shame, start building shit in Australia. Let's have buildings, let's have bridges, and let's all come as one. Give everyone the chance to be the best in the village. That's what I reckon. Hey, Lucky Talisman. Hey, Kaz, Logan and Nathaniel watching from Sydney. Kapuka Reeve. Woo! That's them. That's two of them. And the other two are in the room, 3 rooms from you, Lucky Talisman. 3 rooms from you, my man. Also going to 1-OP now means they will miss most of the cold. Yep, they're also going there after the winter's gone. Bethany, the boot camps every 3 months. No. Bethany, Kapuka happens like 3 times a month. There's always platoons rolling through there. Always. Yep. First night you'll be waking up every 30 minutes thinking when they will call hallway. Jaden, it feels that way, man. I still sometimes think, hallway 11! Brady, what recruiting needs to do is expand the definitions and requirements of each role to the information to clear on the website. It is so vague as it is. It absolutely is. Like, there's a first responder position. What the hell is first responder? That's infantry. That's quick reaction force. No one gets there before us. We go secure locations. They ball. Hey, Kaz, how often do groups of new recruits go down to Kapuka? Okay, that's what we're just discussing then, Davo. So about every week to every 2 weeks, a platoon will go in there. At the moment, there's been double platoons going in as well. Sometimes there will be 2 platoons going at the same time. And a double platoon march out looks great. Sometimes I reckon they should allow for a platoon to stay there for an extra week or so just so they can have a full rifle company equivalent of people on the actual parade ground. But there's not enough accommodation, in at Kapuka as a town. Hawko says, I watched the Cove podcast where the commander of DFR spoke about recruiting and he is so out of touch. Absolutely. I'd love to go and create a lesson or create what they need to do for Australian Army, but also for separation seminars for people getting out of the Army. Okay, Nathan says, I could not agree with you more about those low-life essays. Heaps of them down here. Yeah, they've achieved nothing. The ones I saw over here, they hit each other too. That's not what you do to your brothers. Unknown, thank you very much for that donation there, mate. And I love Australia more than I could explain to anyone. And if that means I'm going to put the uniform back on again, I'd put it back on again, right? They can smash glass and get me out. And if that's the ultimate sacrifices for Australian soil, then I'd do that. Lieutenant Dan all the way. Virat, we need our schools to also instill national pride back into our schools and other institutions to show with no matter who you are. An immigrant turned citizen, black, white, brown or yellow. Absolutely. 100%. Pagey, Dante, yes. SF selection is all done together now. 1 Commando, 2 Commando and SAS. Pagey, thanks for that. Thank you for that. I didn't know. I hate how Elbow stands in front of 3 flags. The only flag should be the ANF. Absolutely. That should be the only flag. Otherwise, you're just coding division. Is it normal that a gap year like myself is going in September instead of like February? No. I understand what you're saying there. That what that's going to do now is put you a split in between that, but that's fine because it would have happened no matter what time you did in a calendar year anyway, would it? Dave says, doesn't Kapuka get full due to so much platoons going in? It does. It does, but everything is tied to the week that you go into. When they go in there, they'll put the start date, finish date, populate. And what happens from there, hey, that sounded all right. What happens there, Dave, is that all of the weeks, all of the vehicles, all of the ranges all gets booked in regardless of what the public holidays are. You go into Kapuka, you're like you're going to a bubble, righto? When you go into the bubble, when you come out, all those public holidays, they didn't happen. We had a drill on our first night at Kapuka, fire trucks too. There you go. Hey, Kaz, do Kiwis need permanent residency to serve in the ADF? I believe there is some sort of like lateral transfer from New Zealand to Australia, but I'm not sure what's happening with lateral transfers because we're oversubscribed to people actually applying for the Australian Army at the moment. No, but the answer is I do not think you do need to. I don't think you do. PJ says they need to make better ads like War Pigs, absolutely, because that's what shows who you are joining. A lot of mates are clueless about the Army and think everyone is just an infantry. It's a funny thing, PJ, that they've got all these videos that basically show people with pudgy moon faces that you can which translates to not fit. Saying this is my army, this is all this, with makeup on, which you're not allowed to wear, and everything is ultra feminized. If they just put the War Pigs up there, what that'd show straight away is that looks like you need to be fit. That looks like you need to be tough. That looks like I better start training now. So it should be as much as they can without actually words. So that you can come to conclusion yourself. So there's absolutely no grey area, right? And it can show all the different corps. War Pigs should be getting, because his photography, it's top class, if not some of the best I've ever seen, right? They should give him a contract and a team of people and a budget. And to them, infantry is just a bunch of blokes who stand in a trench and get shot. Anyone that thinks that, they probably don't understand what they're looking at. And I don't expect people to understand, because everyone my age used to know what infantry was, even if they hadn't served, because we grew up with family members in the military, teachers in the army, our ex-military, grandfathers, etc. Everything was military. Archie Kerr, do you do the BFA before you leave Kapuka? I think you do the BFD, which is the basic fitness diagnostic to see how you go, mate. And again, bam, that will be the results that you need to get for that. I'll leave that up there for a second for you to look at and look at the discrepancy between males and females and ask, are we truly one army? What is the Army's role in the Indo-Pacific region and why is it so important for Australian security? The Indo-Pacific, the South China Seas is so important because that's the waterways where China wants to come down and be able to use for trade, etc. Now, America needs us to be their allies so they can dominate those waterways. And the Red Corn Ship is also atoll hopping and creating islands so they can dominate that area and potentially choke off trade for the rest of the world. That's putting it fairly bluntly. It's our backyard, is the Indo-Pacific, which is the reason why we went into East Timor, okay, to assist those people from East Timor from the Indonesians. Right, okay, so I'd also like to address the issue of how people are mongering the 31st rally, saying how white supremacist it is. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Virat, I totally agree. You've got every reason as a citizen of a nation, of your house, of your tribe, to care about it. Just like we're seeing with the UK at the moment. There is cultures that do not fit in. There is. And we see it. And all I'm going to say to you is if you look this up, it's going to be very, very distressing. There's a certain religion at the moment where you hear nothing about it. Okay, look at early marriages. It's called early marriages. And what that means is there is one religion that's starting to spread where they can actually marry 9 years old and above with the father's consent. 9 years old. Do the math and say, is that what you want in Australia? Because they don't ask you permission when they get here. That's just the way it is in their circles. Yep. And you're not allowed to say it's wrong because that's what their prophet did. Chinny, Kapuka will always be held back by a lack of staff. Throwing the redevelopment about to start and will be chaos for the next few years. It's a tough one because if you actually try to expand Kapuka, then you need to have the amount of people, the inflow coming in. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Australian Army, it's always concertinaed, which means we have a surge of people getting in. 4 years later, there's a surge of people discharging. And then we're trying to get people in, and then we seem like we've got enough. What we need to do is just have enough of a standard. But this is some of the things we need to have. We need to bring back honourable and dishonourable service. We need to have that. We need to have sleeves rolled up all the time when we're in barracks. How come the Air Force can do it, but the soldiers can't? Why can't they do that? Why can't they have sleeves rolled up? If you're going to have big guns and work on those guns and get tattoos on them and make them look great, then let's do it. After 20 years, there should be an option somewhere where there's portions of land, like areas like a retirement over 50s villages for military and police, fire brigade, paramedics in Australia. That would be chef's kiss. Absolutely beautiful. And that could even be dormitory living, where guys just have a little dual room and a study and an ensuite and a carport, and that's all they need. And they should be in 1,000-person little homestead areas, with a swimming pool there, barbecue area, self-policing, no dramas. What else should there be? There definitely should be a reward for 20+ years service. Absolutely. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think that you should be entitled to? If not entitled to, what do you think you should unlock with 20-25 years service of honourable service to the nation, considering we don't have a microphone the whole time we're serving? Okay, these guys that are going to Kapooka now, as soon as they go there now, they're silent. They're not allowed to have a political view, but they're allowed to be sent over on behalf of a pacifist to die for another nation. If that's the case, there should be some sort of reward that comes with, representing the government of the time, for their right, wrong or right, for the stability of your nation. Wagga Bowling Club members have Lest We Forget on the T-shirts and have been told by the RSL to remove it as they own Lest We Forget. Yet the only reason why RSLs are large is not because of the returned servicemen, which I don't think. The RSL in many ways needs to be, that name needs to be taken off some of the RSL clubs, I believe, because RSL clubs are now a nest for poker machines only. Lucky in Western Sydney, I've never seen someone sitting down when the ode comes on. That's beautiful. But you see these massive buildings. You look at an RSL in the outback, it's nothing like one in the city. The ones in the city are massive because of the poker machines. Yep, you walk into an RSL and they say, are you a member? And you go, of this RSL, Port Macquarie? Yes and no. What do you mean yes and no? Well, I'm a veteran. That doesn't make you a member. It's a fucking returned servicemen's league. What are you talking about? I'm not a member. I'm the only person here that did serve. Yeah, but you're not a member, son. This is a bistro. This is a poker machine venue, a licensed premises. Sorry. 1 day a year, we're important. Persons who serve over 20 years deserve so much more than they get. I don't know what we deserve, but it's a tough one. I just want to see Australian flags, and I want to know that after you finish that you should have some sort of voice, that and a microphone that you can speak into and say how much you love your country. Virat, thanks for all the insights, Kaz. Finished my ad for OSB a few months back. Waiting for the LOA for Army General Service Officer. Fingers crossed. Both of them, fingers crossed for you, mate. I think you're going to be fine. Archie, guys, every time we see someone who's wondering when am I going to get told my information, about the, psych reports, PFAs, all this sort of shit, no sooner do I talk to them on the bloody bat phone, all of a sudden, I get photos going, oh, yep, I got told today. Everything's fallen into place. I'm going to quickly talk about this before we get out of here. Righto. So what's happening at the moment with timings? The guys at Kapuka, right? For starters, I'll quickly read this out. What do we have? Okay, everything in the military is a test. Even a freedom. Here's your phones, 2 beers, all that sort of stuff is a test. Having you in the same accommodation with females, don't touch them. We'll look the other way. Did you touch them? You failed the test. First impressions when you go in. Don't talk too much. Listen for a while. You're going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that might seem like best friends at the start, but we can get on each other's, rub each other up the wrong way. Don't go in there too confident. Let your actions do the talking for you. Why is Kapuka hard? It doesn't matter whether you did it 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or tomorrow. It's hard because you're about to be working, a 16-hour day, for 3 months in a row. There's nothing easy about that. No autonomy to doing a shit. No mobile phone when you want, no grazing, no getting a Coke, all that sort of shit. It is hard, and I'll never take that off you. The time of the year, you've chosen a great time. You're going at the end of winter, and the time of the year you're going in, you're going to go and not have time to do IET training, which means you're going to go home for leave with your cancer survivor's haircut. Well done. Back squad. It is not the time to quit if you get back squatted. Back squads happen. It's part of the deal, right? All it means is due to injury, due to a situation normally outside your own control, you have to go back to another platoon. It means you're going to know twice as many people. It's fine. You're not going to run into the people you go through Kapuka with, most of them for the rest of your career. So don't let it destroy your chi. Pardon me. Having said that, I've never been back squatted. Quitters section. I believe that when you first get to Kapuka, to the guys that are going tomorrow, what you should be saying, when you get to Kapuka, the section, make this bet with people when you first get there. Whoever the section is that has the very first person to quit, you'll be known as the quitters fucking section for the rest of the time you're here. That means as soon as we get time to go to the boozer, the quitters section has to pay for the drinks, at least $100 put over the bar for the other 3 sections. But not for the section, the quitting section, then they've got to buy their own after that. That way there's a bet, and everyone's going to look after their own, put an arm around their broken ducklings, and then no one quits. If you can do a platoon with no quitters, well done, you should be stoked. And then it should be the section that wins in everything, known as the stoic section. Excellent. No frat. It doesn't matter if you're a virgin. If someone offers you the garden, the unlock, do not go near a female, because there can be no sex without a female saying yes first. Don't roger your brother, otherwise you should have been in Navy. No fraternisation. Do not do it. Quick way to destroy your career before it starts. And imagine if she got pregnant, then both of you are stuffed. Play the game. Understand that everything is done for a purpose. Every single thing is done for a purpose, and it's not the first time it's been done. Just accept it. If they say the sky is red, the sky is red. Sense of humour will get you everywhere. Good attitude, sense of humour, laugh at everything, don't be offended, no one gives a shit. You're going to a job where you're going to be taught how to stab people in the face with a bayonet. So don't get offended over words. That's for civilians with thin skin that want to be upset about something, mental health. Expect to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your ass kicked. No matter what you do, it's either going to be something you've done, it's going to be something that your mates have done, or something that you haven't done. You are going to get your ass kicked, so don't be surprised. Don't get upset. Don't have a quivering lip when it happens, but don't laugh either. I always laugh. Who normally has trouble? Takers. Takers always make himself the centre of the hero of the story. They're the ones that get offended. They're the ones that have a big deal when things happen, righto? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Who normally has trouble? Yep, the people that don't get along with others. The people that can't take defeat. The people that can't take responsibility for their actions. The people that backchat. No quitting. Don't quit. In the military, there is no quitting. When you're overseas, you can't fall out of a patrol. That doesn't happen. You can't just tap out. And if you should have to wear a tap-out shirt at Kapuka. If you quit, you should have to wear a tap-out shirt with your uniform until you leave. Sense of hope. Okay, that was something else. Righto. So with that out the way, team, I'll get back to your questions. Then we'll get out of here so you can go and do what you need to do and understand we're going to be talking about breaking the cycle soon. What else we got? Archie. We had good ties to all the gyms in the area, so there was always sparring around, quality of it, but was a bit questionable. Archie Kerr, who's your favourite boxer of all time? Mine, I think, is Manny Pacquiao. Okay, team. Luke Chickens. How much for a beer at Afghans these days? There's no discounts from anymore, Brady. I think they go for market rent. To the young people still in school here, I strongly recommend to finish year 12 before you join. So do I, Hawko. There is no rush. There is no rush. But when you think it's nearly time, get on the bat phone. We'll have our conversations and we'll get you at least in the flight pattern where we can answer the questions for you. The only thing I'm worried about is the BFA after Kapuka. Getting 11 minutes in 2.4 is still out of reach for me, even though I have run my whole life. Dave, how old are you, mate? I spent far too much money at Afghans. I've even got the app. I didn't even know there was an app. Fantastic. That's all right, Dave. Basically what ends up happening is you end up running faster. When you're surrounded by competition, you run faster. Remember, we travel, the mission, determines the speed we travel at, but the speed we travel at is our slowest, our fattest, or the person carrying the heaviest equipment, which is always our gunner. So be aware, team. Be aware that if you are the person that costs the mission because of your lack of physical toughness, whether that's in a section attack, whether that's a carrying equipment, whether that's on operations where you can't take the heat because you've got too much marbling or you can't swim, but you still have to cross a river, ooh, you don't want to be that person. 17, Dave, you're fine. Dave, you're fine. You've been running all your life. You're 17. Give yourself a break, son. Give yourself a break. You'll be right. Via Webley. That's good, RJ. It's a good call to have. Right, Tim, well, let's get out of here. I hope that you got something out of tonight. So the tips are basically just be the best person you can. Put your hand on the shoulder of someone in your room and say, no fucking quitting. The best thing you can do is what I just said then, is tell people, I'm here to get you through. We don't have to be best mates, but this section sticks together. We won't be the quitting section. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder, all four of you together, hands on each other's shoulder. No one quits in this room. We got it? We got it. Let's go to the next room of our section. No one quits. Let's do it. Okay, guys, I've got total faith in you and I appreciate you for leaving the path less trodden, and giving it a go. And what a fitting time to have an Australian flag. And if you're in an Australian transport unit, then you should be bringing back, or any vehicle unit, engineers, let's go back to the days where you had Australian flags in the back of your, behind your driver's seat. So when people see Australian Army coming down the road, I believe that every vehicle should have an Australian flag when it's not in tactical, getting flown from Australian military vehicles. I'd love that. That'd be my wet dream. We've got a lot coming through here. I'm only 60 kilos, mate. I was 58 kilos, my man. I've slacked off a lot for the past 3 years. You're 17. You've been slacking off since 14. What are you talking about? Fennec is Jennifer G's. Nah, not a fan of Fennec. He's a bit of a grub. Running at 9:40. Dave Ball, I went from running at 9:40 to just scraping 10:57 yesterday. That's all right. You'll get back there again. You'll get back there. You'll be fine. And Archie, that's okay, man, because you know what it's like to be elite fitness. You'll be big, as they say in New Zealand. Let's get out of here, team. Thank you very much for your donations. Thank you very much for your time. This is the time, team. Ukrainian boxer, Oleski, yeah, he's not bad. At times faster anyway. Yep. Case you definitely are a psycho, but a wise psycho, and perhaps a necessary psycho at that. Samuel Spain, what a great name. Did you know that Spain was one of my favourite countries? I stayed at a place called Plaza Diabo. It cost me an absolute fortune to go to the MotoGP. And then I went there and I cried like a bitch because we had Casey Stoner, Vermeulen, and West all in the race at the same time. It's another story. But watching as just said his name. Watching the Aussies ride, it was the best thing in my life, pretty much. I run it in 3 minutes. I run it in 3 minutes pretty easily. PJ, you tell lies. Second only to Australia. Love Spain. Okay, guys. Buenas noches. Time to go. And appreciate you all. Let's make Australia good, one good day at a time. Pick up a piece of garbage tomorrow. Say hello to someone. And Casey Stoner, so good. He was so good. I'm spewing that he got out of racing. It killed me. He just couldn't handle the pressure, I believe, of Valentino Rossi. All right, guys, take it easy. Let's make Australia great again. Yep, because it is great. It is. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yep. All right,